Welcome back, everyone. I'm Tom Murphy, and this is Trinidad Now on Trinidad Times Television. Segment 3 with Anthony Mattie.
I'm ready.
Management is the way I labeled it. As a city council member, what is your role in government?
Okay, I have a statement that I had written earlier. Let me find the part.
Okay.
But I'm saying the role of city council is to be primarily legislative, occasionally judiciary, and very seldom executive. Understanding what we remember from our civics lessons, legislative, we make the rules, we make the organization, we make the ordinances, we set the parameters, we steer the ship. Okay, judicial, when we sit in role of hearings, we are like a court. Executive is the folks who do this. I think it's a role of city council to find and provide the tools necessary to give the executive team and the city workforce, a fire truck, a street sweeper, and all the stuff that's necessary to do their tools, and then let them do it.
Okay.
We need proper oversight, but we do not need to be micromanaging.
Of the city manager?
The city manager, he's the guy that we talk to. Everything else filters down through him to other employees. But what I'm trying to say is he gives us a regular report,
right?
And we need to have an interface with him. That should happen all the time, like a clutch and a pressure plate. Okay? But at the same time, we need not manage what we pay him to do.
Okay. Is there anything else in that statement?
Well,
I don't want to cut you off.
No, you're not.
But you are moving right to this question: is what relationship should council have with city employees? For example, if an employee came to you to complain about their supervisor, how would you respond?
Well, I tell him, well, you need to talk to work within the hierarchy established there. I was in a quasi-military environment most of my life. Okay, if I had an issue with my sergeant, I could go to the lieutenant, but I certainly didn't go talk to the chief of the state patrol. Mm-hmm. That's just not the way you do it.
Right.
And if a city employee were to come to me with a concern, and if it fell within a realm of something I should know about, I would refer him to the proper authority within the hierarchy created that works for him. Okay, is it something you should take to your union? Is it something that you should take to your department head? Is it something that you should have your department head take to the city manager? But we ultimately will be the officers who may hear this complaint.
Right.
We have no dog in that fight at that point.
Okay. Big question. How do you define leadership?
Wow. I pride
we don't have all night.
No, well, let me tell you, I pride myself in this, and I'm going to read it to you, okay? I said, I believe that my courage, my team building skills, my independence, my fortitude to address critical issues have been instrumental in helping council successfully address significant matters during my previous tenure. For example, I was instrumental or integral in uniting a divided council, strengthening the position of the mayor, selecting capable city managers, more than one, okay, embracing the marijuana industry as a catalyst for our growth and developing a focus on art space, taking proactive initiatives to create successes for our city and developing partnerships. So in terms of leadership, I'm saying you have to be somewhat of a visionary. You have to be informed and knowledgeable, or make yourself such. And then what you need to do is work with the other people on the team or in the council to steer this big ship. Leadership means that I don't fight with somebody because they don't believe what I believe. Leadership means that there needs to be compromise. It's one thing to be solid in your thinking, but it's another thing to be stubborn and unrealistic. We need to work together. Trinidad, where people work together to make good things happen.
Well said.
That's my idea of leadership.
Garbo.
Joe Garbo.
All right.
He was a brilliant man. He kept me out of a lot of trouble in my life.
I like Joe a lot.
Yeah.
He's a good man. And I took care of him and his wife when the time came. You just really explained this, but revisiting another way, explain, because a lot of people don't know that are watching this. What is the council manager form of government?
Council manager is we hire a manager to be tantamount to like I don't want to say a president, but we hire him to oversee the city, to run it, to manage. The city manager, to manage the city, to provide direction, to put things in effect that we have provided for him. The role of the city council, as I understand, and as I've worked to do, is to be visionary, to find the direction that we want to steer this big ship. we want it to go in this direction, art space and that kind of stuff, and we want you to make that happen.
Right. Well, in Colorado Springs and Denver, they have a mayor that's elected becomes essentially the city manager.
Right.
So, and a lot of people don't understand what type of...
Here, the mayor, and that's one of the challenges that the mayor has as compared, you asked about time investment.
Right.
The mayor invests a lot more time directly with a city manager, I would think, than does the average council member.
Right.
Although, well, with Gabe and with Mr. Sund, he meets regularly and individually with every member of council. Right. And he takes notes about the things that we talk about, and
right.
we have discussions informally, and we do ours at breakfast.
Right.
But the point is, the mayor, out of necessity, has a heavier involvement. He is the person. He is the face of the city of Trinidad. He goes to testify at the state legislature. He meets. He serves on committees like the rail thing, the train thing. He is. Requires a lot more time, and because I'm gainfully, or not gainfully, but because I'm employed full time, that's something that limits me in my ability to serve, and as a lesser capacity, for lack of a better way to describe it, as a councilman.
Okay. Now that I'm getting back up and I've been a little rusty in doing interviews, I'm going to combine the next 3 questions into one.
Okay.
What is executive session? What can be discussed in executive session? What if an illegal or improper decision or discussion would take place in executive session?
Okay.
What would you do?
Okay, well, executive sessions are removed from the public. It's where we are assembled as a group and we talk freely among ourselves about a particular topic or issue. That particular topic or issue, by virtue of Colorado open records and stuff, needs to be disclosed. The purpose of the executive session needs to be defined. They are going to meet in executive session for this particular purpose. When we get in executive session, sometimes the conversation gets a little bit free-flowing, and the admonishment at the beginning is to stay on point. And if anyone finds that we're getting away from that, bring us all back to, we're not allowed to talk about that. Okay, then at the end, we go through it, and when we come back into regular session, we are asked individually if we have any reason to believe that we did not do what we had promised to do. The idea, and it's a good idea, is to be transparent.
Right.
Okay, and when you go into executive session, you're not transparent. So you have very strict regulations about what you can and can't do and what you can and can't say. There are never decisions made there.
Right.
Okay, there are discussions, open discussions, that sometimes as a matter of, I want to say privacy, but that's not a good word, consideration for all the people involved in that are not appropriate to have in a very public meeting. But at the same time, once you get the dirty laundry, so to speak, you come out and you hang the linen. You know,
right.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Well, in all your time in council, no one has ever come out and said, I don't ever recall.
No one has ever complained when we came back out of executive session, and many times while we were in executive session, someone said, well, I don't think we should be talking about that.
Okay.
And when we rein each other in to get back on track.
Okay. Last 2 things, and I had you read these in one of the previous things, the referendums that council has put on. Yes or no on referendum 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Okay, man.
Yes.
Okay, what we are hoping to do, thinking regionally, is there are a number of well-intentioned and knowledgeable people who, because they live in the county, not in the city,
right.
are unable to serve on planning, our commissions and boards and such in the city. We are hoping to change that so that those persons who have demonstrated been here for a year, a 1-year resident of Los Alamos County, who are registered to vote, can also serve on city boards and commissions. Okay, excluding Planning and Zoning and Variance Commission, provided that the majority of the Board of Commission will always be comprised by city residents. What we're thinking is, there's some resources available to us that we're not taking advantage of. The tree board, we have somebody who might know a whole lot about trees, but because he lives in Bon Carbo, he can't serve. We're saying, let's take advantage of that.
Okay.
The next one is of the City of Trinidad, State of Colorado Home Rule Charter, amending the Planning and Zoning Variance Board of Appeals to hear and decide the appeals of all decisions rendered by, okay, in the hierarchy of the judiciary, when someone wants to appeal a decision from Planning and Zoning, they come to council.
Right.
And that's all we're trying to do there. And then, I'm sorry for these glasses, I don't see
all
so
right.
good without them. It's an age thing, okay? And then the next one is the Home Rule Charter shall be amended so that the submission of a master plan by Parks and Recreation and as an advisory board every 5 years. In the past, we had them doing a master plan more frequently than that. It's really not necessary. And we're trying to eliminate that and relieve Parks and Rec from having to do that.
Okay.
And then there's another one, number 5. Sorry. Once again, The home rule charter shall be amended to clarify that all permanent and full-time employees, except administrative employees, have the right to bargain collectively with the city. True. We are a union town. We respect that.
Right.
Okay. A lot of the benefits that my parents enjoyed came on the back of the workers in United Mine Workers. What the hell? We're at the cradle of organized labor, Ludlow.
Right.
You know, we have a duty, a fiduciary responsibility to our heritage and our history to recognize that this is how it should happen. And what we do is we give people the opportunity to say their piece.
Right.
And all we're trying to do is, as structured as it may be,
right.
What we're hoping to do is encourage participation, make everybody share my enthusiasm for the city of Trinidad.
Cool. Okay.
That's all I got to say about that.
All right. Last thing. Whether you go 30 seconds or 30 minutes, I've got enough tape. We're going to wrap it up. This is your camera over here.
Okay, that's my camera.
You need to not talk to me. You need to talk to the voters.
I'm going to read this because it's well orchestrated.
Why they need to vote for Anthony Mattie.
Okay, I will do that. Sergeant Rod used to, I liked him, he was my buddy. He used to tell me, ask Mattie what time it is, he'll tell you how to build a clock.
All right.
Okay, I will be brief. Okay, I'm the lone incumbent among a field of candidates for city council seat. And I say that my skills at making order out of chaos have served me well thus far in my council service. And I'm proud to have been an integral part to create this palpable energy and the momentum that we now enjoy. You can feel it in town. There's an enthusiasm. Okay, I believe that my courage, team building skills, independence, fortitude to address critical issues. Okay, when you do what I do for a living and you were standing outside the car door, you had to pretty much draw a line in the sand right there and stand your ground. Okay, so that having been said, I think that was helpful in making me be successful in addressing the matters of need in the city. Those that I offer specifically are uniting a divided council. I came as a matter of a recall and a divided 4-3 vote thing. I was able to help strengthen the position of the mayor, selecting capable city managers, embracing the marijuana industry for what it is as a catalyst to our growth, developing a focus on art and art space, taking proactive initiative to create a success for our city, and developing partnerships with others, J. Chimino, Chafa, Betzer Foundation, and just DOLA. All those people who have been helpful in us doing what we do. My previous law enforcement service in responding to critical issues with the Colorado State Patrol and the Sheriff's Office, to a lesser extent, have served well in my being able to demonstrate my ability to be an active listener, to act responsibility within the parameters of law and common practice for the betterment of all concerned. According to myself, I believe that council service requires visionary perception to see the possibilities beyond the obvious circumstances of any given situation. The well-being of the city will always be, and the will of the majority are always going to be my primary responsibilities. My primary focus is the well-being of the city of Trinidad, and whatever is the rule or the will of the majority. I believe that the role of council is primarily legislative, occasionally judicial, but rarely executive. I believe that council works with the community to chart a course for the city. And then council provides the necessary tools to the executive team and to all city employees so that we can allow them to do their jobs without unnecessary interference from council. I believe that there are many people among the field who share my vision and my ideas and my thoughts. And there are some, and I'm going to go out on a limb here and say it anyway, who maybe do not appreciate the direction that I have helped council take. And I've heard it said to me that, well, we're going to take Trinidad back. And my question is, to what? 1960? Jameson's is not going to open again. Doveton's, Alpert's, Icabone's, those are all gone. Marketime, Riverside, those are all gone. Moto Day, the budget, they're gone. We need to take what we have now and move forward. The last thing I want to say is the book of Ecclesiastes says to all things there is a season. And I believe that it's now Trinidad's time to rise like a phoenix from the ashes of fossil fuels into the new millennium, taking responsibility for our own future. Thank you. I appreciate your votes, and if you value what I have done and what I promise to do, support me in the election.
Anthony, thank you. As
You're welcome.
As I said at council the other night, one of the things that I'm excited about is the fact that we have so many people running. You know, and of course there's only 3 seats in the mayor.
Understood.
But I don't think there was as much interest before, and I think with everything that's happened, it's got some people to run for office that normally wouldn't have.
In my mind, I'm hoping that palpable energy, that enthusiasm,
Right.
is what's motivating people to be interested.
Right.
You know, it's easy to get on a bandwagon.
Right.
It's tough to show up at a big wreck
Yeah.
and make order out of that.
Well, my wife and I have been through good times and bad here, but we fell in love with it, and our choice is to stay here and fight, and I'm just happy people like you are running and care and will help guide the city.
Anybody that knows me, I'm
but
competitive.
you and I are both on a clock, and we hit it right at 6. We are
Okay.
perfect. So I'm going to wrap it up with one line. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Tom Murphy, and this is Trinidad Now on Trinidad Times Television. Thank you for watching. Yeah, that was excellent. We did literally 6 o'clock.
Okay.